Well, it's been more than a year since Coles slashed the price of milk to $1 a litre, and the other major supermarkets soon followed suit. The price war has put major pressure on the dairy industry, squeezing margins for farmers and processors. Dairy watchers say future growth for the industry will need to come from exports, as Emily Stewart reports.
The impact of the supermarket milk price war has leaked down the supply chain.
The contracts that are being offered now are at a reduced rate, which potentially in Queensland, Northern New South Wales will mean around $20,000 to $30,000 per year reduction in their income.
The 15% of milk produced in Australia, in New South Wales and Queensland is under some stress. There's no doubt about that at all. But if you look at the 65-70% that's grown in Victoria, they're in a better position because they can export that milk.
The oversupply of milk in Victoria is exported largely as powdered milk and infant formula.
That provides some healthy tension. So if a supermarket isn't going to pay up and domestic consumption isn't going to do so, we have got this other outlet. And if we can add value to it, all the better we can lock in a higher margin offshore.
Global demand for milk is growing, and in the last 5 years, the price of raw milk has jumped 50%. Dairy analyst Kevin Bellamy says China and Southeast Asia, and particularly India, provide huge opportunities for the Australian industry as more women return to the workforce.
They're urbanising quicker than the rest of the world. So whereas India supplied most of its needs from the informal milk sector, they're going to need a much more formal milk sector to supply the cities, because milk and paneer that is part of the staple within the Indian diet.
There's been some concern a wave of milk could flood the market when European production quotas are lifted in 2015. But Kevin Bellamy says it shouldn't be a concern.
We're estimating about 9 billion litres a year coming onto the world market. That's more than going to be soaked up by this 2.4% increase in global demand.
In the United Kingdom, supermarkets have an even tighter control of the liquid milk supply chain. Their brands account for around 75% of all milk sold, whereas here they have around 50% of the market.
People who've really suffered in the UK have probably been the processors who've seen their margins reduced, and farmers supplying into those supermarket direct supply groups, and they're getting a premium of 2 to 3 pence a litre over the average price received by UK farmers.
Chris Griffin says Dairy Farmers Australia are pushing for a code of conduct to be introduced to supermarkets.
Along the lines of what's happening in the UK, where an ombudsman can see and assess the payments that are being made to everyone along the supply chain.
Dozens of farmers are already casualties of the milk price war, and if things don't improve, more could follow.